Hello
Good
everyone!
evening! and
Welcome once again to our amazing Clash Royale evening here on Monday and spot the difference. Something is very different here with my co-cast. We come to that in a second. First of all, let me introduce you. The greatest, the biggest, the greatest Clash Royale streamer of all time. Luca Don Rigoni over there.
I'm just a
Amazing.
caster. I don't even stream, though.
Oh,
You're the streamer of us, and
okay. I wanted to say cast though. Okay, good.
okay. And of course, when it's Clash Royale evening here in the Swisscom Hero League, powered by
Yeah.
ESL, one guy can't be missing, and that is of course nobody else than Chief Avalon, aka Sean Paul, here next to me. And yeah, we're looking at quite some exciting matches here. The stakes are once again super high, as we're looking on both of the matches remaining of the losers bracket. And let's actually have a look at
Yeah, it's amazing matches here. The
which of the
first, it's
matchups we're
actually
gonna see.
both of them are knockout matches today. The
Yes.
loser is out. It's crazy. It's from the losers bracket.
And just
First,
by looking at the names here right on screen, you'd never think that those are the elimination matches. It's
yeah,
Senpirect versus Jesus, a
Senpai.
reboot of the final match of season 1 here.
Senpai in the losers bracket. Can
Yeah.
you believe it? It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And then for the second match is coming up right after. It's FCN Ryzen, our superstar essentially, our that nobody basically had yeah had had assumed to be performing that strongly, who basically had a clean record in season 1 for the first like
Yeah.
4 or 5 games before he even lost a single match against, that's him, one of
Yeah.
his fellow teammates
Also, he
actually here.
Also, he finds himself here in the losers bracket. It's gonna be rough on two of them here.
Yep.
And
So
we're
for
ready.
both of these matches, it's gonna be do or die for all of these 4 players, and they really have to bring their A game. So let's have a look how we even got here. This is Group A. Last week, we started out with a no. Previously, actually, in week 1, we started out with a newcomer in Monkey Blue who had to go up against Senpirect. Went down with a clean 4-0, so to speak, and then had to make it to the losers bracket to be facing off against who really none of us had expected to be found there, which is Jesus here, who lost in a nail biter of a match against Thiago, who has just been
Yeah.
performing out of his mind
And we
here.
have to say, Thiago has quite a run here. He won very closely against Jesus, and then he beat Senpai Rect.
Yep.
And that's why Jesus now finds Senpai Rect in the losers bracket. Both of the losers against Thiago. It's crazy.
Yeah, so both of these opponents here, they have been sent here to the losers brackets by Thiago himself, who has really been showing such a strong performance here during this season 3 of the Swisscom Hero League, and who's already secured his spot in the playoffs. And the winner of this match is actually the one who's gonna secure or lock in that second playoff
He's
spot.
gonna
So
face Thiago again.
yes.
So
Eh,
one of those two that lost against Thiago is gonna face Thiago again. It's crazy.
Yeah, so let's actually have a look at the other side of our bracket here, being Group B, that is. And here, quite a similar story. It was even more one-sided when we look
All
at the
four
matches.
zeros.
Yeah,
Crazy.
everything just a clean sweep here. FCN Ryzen taking down Kevron 4-0, and Jumanji winning his week 1 match as well, cleanly. And then that's him last week showed Kevron how to really play a graveyard deck about as good as it gets, and kicked him out of the season 3 competition here. FCN Ryzen then really surprisingly lost against Jumanji, who's also been looking incredibly strong here, and then kicked him down to the losers bracket as
I mean,
well,
it's
where
really
he's today
crazy
going to be
here.
facing off against his teammate in that sim.
Jumanji, he won both of his matches 4-0. What a start for Jumanji. It's crazy.
Yeah, so absolutely incredible performance here out of him. And we can be curious what we're gonna see on Wednesday, where we're gonna be starting with the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, um, and then have a look at if he and of course also Thiago, who so far look to be our favorites here, whether they can keep up their incredible performance.
Yeah, maybe it's gonna be a rematch, Jumanji again against FC and Ryzen, or Jumanji again against Datsim. It's pretty similar story as in the other bracket in Group A and Group B. It's the same story. The winner will face his defeater again, and he will be hungry, of course, for a win against the other person. On this
Yeah,
side here,
chance for
Jumanji.
a revenge here.
Revenge. Out for blood.
Yes. So let's have a look at the first match that will be coming up here shortly, where we're gonna see the duel between Senpyrect and Jesus. And just to stress this again, the two losers of today, they are out.
Yes.
So therefore the stakes couldn't be higher here,
Yeah.
because outside of that, whoever makes it into the whoever wins makes his way to the playoffs, and there you're more or less safe. You have a few matches then for sure to go to have your chance at making it all the way to the finals actually. But if you don't bring your A game tonight and go down to your opponent, we hope it's not going to be a 4-0, of course, for any of these players, but two of these players will have to say goodbye to for season 3 at least, that is.
It's gonna be really rough for those players here because it's no round robin anymore. As you may have noticed, we have a losers bracket now, a double elimination bracket. So that basically means if you lose twice, you're out.
Yep.
And that's way harder, but it's also way more interesting for the viewers to watch, in my opinion. I think it's a good change. Also, a change is we have a ban at the start of our best of 7 matches. Each match is a best of 7. There's only bans at the start of those potentially 7 matches, and that remains valid throughout all of the matches. It's crazy. So you have to think really well what you're gonna ban.
Yeah, so far I think by far the most banned out card we've seen so far, I think has been the Magic Archer so far. A card that has gained so much traction and popularity over the last few months. It's just incredible. Ever since they increased his hit speed, essentially, he's been a staple in the meta,
card.
and basically an all include in most of the cards. Even some of the very aggressive cycle cards use him because he's such an efficient tool to defend any counter pushes
We
or any
all
attempts.
hope for a nerf, a really good nerf that kills him.
Yeah.
We don't like him. By the
Ever
way,
since
I
they
wanna-
maxed him out, I'm
I
like,
want to ask the audience a question. You know, this guy here, he looks like my co-caster kind of, but something has changed. Can you spot
not
the difference?
not anymore, not anymore.
Can you spot the difference? Yes! Our production has it. They said the beard has gone.
Yeah.
Besides that, he still looks the same. It looks
Yeah,
kind
okay.
of like his beard
Hopefully
has
so.
shifted to the top of his head.
Yeah, I can't really, with all the hairdressers being closed, my hair is just that, you know, that's why the camera stops here, so you don't see all the mess that's growing above.
That's
you
why
know?
you put your chair further up so that
Yeah.
we don't see all of the hair, because it's actually
Exactly.
way more hair. It's like a big, how's it called, an afro.
Yeah,
Like those 50
it's
centimeter
getting there. I mean,
afro.
luckily I cut it on the sides these days, but back in the days I used to really have like an afro when
You
I
did?
when I grew my hair out. Yeah, because I have like
Yeah.
very thick and curly hair.
One day you gotta show us a picture of the afro.
No way, no way.
The funny story is actually I remember a classmate of mine who also had that big afro,
Yeah.
like you just said, and then let's say like 20 years afterwards, we had a meet up with the school class, and he had no hair at all. That's how things change.
So he just shaved or he lost it?
I think he lost it. I mean, he lost some of it probably,
Okay.
and the rest was shaved.
Yeah.
But it was kind of hard to recognize.
Yeah, I gotta see. Maybe I still have some pictures. I really hope.
We all want to see a picture now.
Yeah, but
Yes.
my beard just had to go. I don't know. It was like one of these quarantine thoughts, you know. I was like, yeah, we're at home now for what is it, like 4 weeks, 3 weeks?
A year?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2020?
I think it's the third week now. Yeah, right. And it's like, yeah, why not? I mean, I really shaved it off all the way, and I looked like 12, and now it's growing back a bit, so that's better. So it was essentially.
So
I
will
thought,
you let it grow again?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
I was like, okay, let's just do like a full reset, and then just like grow it out and don't touch it as long as possible.
Really?
Like until
Like
like
a
the whole
guru.
quarantine thing is over, and then I can start to shape it again.
Like the so-called hockey beard.
Yes,
the
exactly.
Playoff beard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if
And
it
that's-
takes a year, if you're gonna stay at home for a year, it will be really big.
Then I'm gonna look like a homeless person probably.
But actually, the funny thing is, I just listened to a video recently, and the guy said there's actually only two ways to wear a beard. Either you wear a full beard or no beard, because everything in between will change. Because sometimes people will like this kind of beard and this kind of beard, and like 10 years later, it will look old if you have a special beard. But if you have a full beard, even in 1,000 years, a full beard will still look the same, and no beard will also still look the same. So either go full beard or no beard.
I think I see what you're getting at. But I gotta say, like I rocked the, I don't know, like the 3 days stubble for
The 3-day
quite,
beard.
yeah, for quite a while actually, and that's
I
like
think that's okay too.
it's easy to maintain. It's like because actually having a full beard, I think no, I never casted with that, but
Like a
until
really-
like 2 years ago, I had like a really
so-called
long beard.
Alperi beard.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, my dad always like tried to make fun of me and told me I look like a terrorist. Because it's like entirely black.
I think you can't say the word because that will. Oh, we're not on YouTube though, so you're
Okay.
fine.
Oof. And are we like age restricted? Okay. No, it was just like, yeah.
I think we are.
It looked
Family
it looked
friendly.
wild. It looked wild. But I like
Okay.
it. But let's talk a little bit about Clash Royale here, actually, because so far we haven't seen any big changes coming in. We should have some coming into next week. I'm not 100% sure when the
Yeah, the season
season's
will be
going to
over
end.
on Monday or
Yeah.
Tuesday. One
Yeah.
of those. Not
So
sure.
for next, like not the upcoming Wednesday, but the week after, we should already be in a new season. It's actually 6 more days, so
Season
yeah.
10.
one-
It's
and then
already
we're in
season 10.
Wow,
Unbelievable.
time flies by. I just remember them introducing the Battle Pass, essentially, which
Yeah.
was quite a significant change, and I really like the frequency nowadays where we actually see changes, because otherwise we'd get like essentially just like now, where we'd only see like one type of meta. We're lucky right now that the meta is so up in the air, and there's essentially no really super popular deck that's like taking everything by storm like we sometimes had in the past. Yeah, we have the Magic Archer, who is arguably one of the strongest cards currently in the game. Mini P.E.K.K.A is also really popular at the moment, and we see a lot of play out of that.
Yeah.
But it's both of these cards I feel have very clear counters. I mean,
And
Magic
there's also
Archer.
been some changes, like
Yeah.
really new card, like the Battle Healer that was introduced into the game. The Elixir Golem was introduced into the game. So those are kind of game changers, and I really hope that we see more of those like new cards that bring a new way into the game.
And I'm really
Okay, we
hoping.
get the bans here.
Yeah.
The bans are the Magical Archer, banned by Senpai Rect. And what's the other one? I didn't clearly. And the Baby Dragon is the second ban. Baby Dragon. Why do you ban Baby Dragon? This is such a versatile card that you can use in every deck. And it kind of punishes both of them in the same way. Why do you ban Baby Dragon? I totally understand Magical Archer because I don't like it.
Yeah.
But the Baby Dragon, come on. Poor Baby Dragon.
Baby Dragon, I mentioned this, I think it was a week ago. Since it is included in so many decks and it's a very efficient card, just due to how it essentially works, and even though it has been nerfed, like a very small nerfs twice, it still has one of the highest use rate in the game. And it's just with its splash damage, it's so good against any kind of swarm troops, and it's in so many decks, especially control-ish decks. So everything that wants to get a lot of value out of your cards.
And I just got the news. I heard the news. We're ready for the first match. Let's go.
Let's get in. So yeah, just to get so much value out of that Baby Dragon, and if you ban that out, you essentially target that controlling style of play, which Jesus apparently does not want to go up against. By the looks of it.
Yes, the baby P.E.K.K.A. The mini P.E.K.K.A. is on the way.
I like the baby P.E.K.K.A. Nice zap there to take care. It gets the double slap there onto the Firecracker as well to take that down too. Very, very well played here by Senparek, punishing Jesus' play right there. Going to be another Goblin Gang here. It looks like Senpai has resorted to an aggressive cycle deck here yet again, which we've seen him already come up strong in the first week here with those.
It's not the first time they meet up. This is a kind of a ongoing rematch between those two, and I'm curious who wins this time. And this is an all or nothing battle between them. Usually they had more chances to battle. This time only once. And so yeah, I'm curious. Senpai,
one hit there.
Senpai is usually always cool, but so is Jesus. And from the final, they have an open bill from last time. And curious about this.
Yeah, and we also see one of apparent favorites here out of those two players, being the Firecracker being run here in both of these decks actually. Very similar approaches here to those decks. Ram Rider there being stopped by the Evis. Will he get the connection?
Oh, the wall breakers!
Oh, nice. Wall breakers
running for the tower. No answer.
Well, no chance.
Those wall breakers hurt.
And she already took about 1/3 of her HP. They're trying to defend this, while both of Jesus Tower go down to around 1800 HP there. Very nice Firecracker here to take care of that whole push. P.E.K.K.A. doesn't really stand a chance against that Goblin Gang. And
wall breakers like again.
Matchup
they're on the run, getting snowballed. But will that stop them? I don't think so.
The wall breakers. Does not quite manage.
That was so close. Woo. Like they move in slow motion and couldn't hit the tower. Crazy.
Very well done there. Nevertheless, 1537 HP remaining on that right hand side. And another mini P.E.K.K.A. being played and takes such easy care here of all of that.
Another round of wall breakers and they hit.
Oh wow, gets the explosion damage there. 1500 on both of those towers. Now Senpai has to start making up his mind on where he wants to commit. There's a Mega Knight as well being played there by Senpai.
He looks kind of undecided.
Yeah.
Jesus looks kind of undecided what to do here.
Will Jesus be able to even defend it?
Wall breakers on the run again.
Wall breakers. And the miner is chipping away at the tower. Meanwhile, Firecracker just gets so much value there on.
I have to say though,
nice zap there to cancel.
That was a great distraction with the wall breakers and the miner on the other tower. That was an excellent distraction. Now the next miner is on the tower with wall breakers, and they hit again.
That might just be the first game here. Firecracker.
And that's the first tower. No,
nearly aiming, but that's just another zap
56
required on that tower, and Senpai is surely gonna take this here.
There's the miner, and that's
it goes. The shovel secures the first game here for Senpai Rack. Fantastically played here out of him.
He
Really
takes
no
the lead
sweat.
and puts the pressure on Jesus, and we know it, especially when Senpai has the lead. He's a very strong player. You don't want to face Senpai when he has the lead. So it's going to be rough here for Jesus once again.
Yeah, just incredibly played here by him. That just looked solid throughout.
Solid.
I mean, he made such good
Solid
use
as a rock.
out of
Solid.
all of his cards. That was just fantastic.
We have to give
play here.
Senpai for this finish. This is a finish to remember. It was so good. We give him thumbs up. Thumbs up for Senpai. That was
Very
a good
nice.
finish.
I might actually have to copy that deck, to be honest. Like that looked
You
so
do.
that looked so great here.
We
What
should
we saw.
actually take notes of that finish for our highlights videos.
Yeah, that was it was not too spectacular. I felt it was just like
Spectacular.
I don't think going in with the deck that Senpai had against Jesus variation, he could have played that any better. But it was also really hard for Jesus archetype to do anything against it. Essentially,
He was just kind of helpless against the
Yeah.
wall breakers.
Yeah.
And
and
what I
with
really
the
liked is
P.E.K.K.A. he
how
had
Senpai
really was at
he-
a disadvantage.
he really varied well between playing the minor and the wall breakers in one lane and then switching it up and having wall breakers in the other lane and minor in one lane. And that
Yeah.
made it really hard here for Jesus to actually figure out which lane to defend.
Yeah, and also like the P.E.K.K.A. inclusion, it naturally makes sense against the beatdown deck. I imagine he would have done a lot better, but just in this fast, aggressive deck here that Senpai Rect decided to run, it just felt kind of clunky from watching it. So he couldn't really get his P.E.K.K.A. to do much because
Yeah,
the
she
Firecracker
was-
just kept her distance so well.
She's gone a little bit fat and slow. She's not really doing anything good at the moment. Eating
Yeah.
too many cookies, I guess.
It looks like, or too many pancakes, that is.
Maybe she's also working from home and got a little bit fat.
Yeah, we all do. Like,
No, not we all. I mean, there's two things. Two ways you get out of this home thing. Either you get out of this like fat, or you get out of this like really fit. Which one will you be?
yeah, I'm still deciding about that.
I'm trying to be the fit one. But
Well.
yeah, we'll see. We're in the second match. Let's go.
yeah, and we
Jesus
see,
on Papa.
it looks like Jesus has brought a bit of a different approach here. Has the miner himself now here in the arena. There we see a poison coming out of Senpai Rect to
Skolo.
take good care of that Firecracker here. Looks like quite a bit of a faster cycle here coming out of Jesus.
Yeah,
that-
Senpai looks currently like he's playing minor poison or something.
yeah.
Or graveyard poison could be. Wow,
Nice
beautiful
work there
rocket.
onto the
Painful.
Inferno
What?
Oof.
The mini P.E.K.K.A. stopped
Nearly makes
just
the connection
on
there.
time.
But the Mega Knight comes down there from the skies.
Yeah, he also looks
And
a bit
takes-
clumsy and
takes it
fat
out.
at the moment, actually.
You can't just be insulting everyone here. That's not.
Yeah, I can.
And
I'm
you
just
will.
insulting the character. not-
Oh, Ram
not
Rider
any
connects
real
onto the
person.
tower. They're taking it down to around 2000 HP there. Ooh, nearly. You can actually activate the King Tower with a Mega Knight when you have the Firecracker. Nearly had it there for Jesus, but went down earlier. Nice King
Oh,
Tower
activation.
activation there from
King
Senpai
Tower
Rect.
activation. Very nice done. The bandit. Stop by the. Why does he play the golem over there? I think he panicked a little bit. Usually when you play the ice golem in the middle to actually kite that miner, that bandit.
But this way she doesn't get to dash. So against the bandit, you always
I
have
feel
to
like he panicked a
little
little bit. Maybe it was on purpose, maybe he panicked. We will never know.
No.
The next firecracker ready to shoot his crackers.
There we see another poison there to take out the Firecracker there. I really like the decision making here coming out of Senpai Rect. Just taking those Firecrackers out as soon as possible because it is one of the offensive options that Jesus has here, which holds so much in her value there. Nice Ram Rider there on the
Again.
other side.
Again, the same
Nice
story.
rocket
You see
though.
Senpai switching up lanes really well, and that makes it really hard for Jesus.
Yeah, yeah, and the King Tower activation really helps with defending against these miners here from Jesus. So well done there by Senpai. And as far as I can tell from Jesus here, it's not really one of the classic wing conditions. He just has the miner for the over and over for the continuous chip damage.
Yeah, if he's lucky, he can make
usually you will never get. You should not, like if your opponents let you connect onto the tower with a mini P.E.K.K.A, he deserves to. Like,
but hey, Jesus is in the lead.
Yeah, so far here. And he has the rocket.
Good rocket.
Usually to defend here, but now he has to defend again.
I think he can just hope for the mini P.E.K.K.A and the rocket to actually get to the tower.
Yeah,
and take that tower down.
I think he'll have to really rely on that. Nice poison there. Yet again, there's another miner here coming out from Jesus. Nice noble there to get him off that tower at least. Around a difference of 400 HP there on the right hand side.
And remember this, there is this tiebreaker thing in the game now, so it's actually enough for Jesus to just have the lead, and it's only 1 minute left.
Yeah,
so he can just try to keep the lead.
Nice warp barrel there to force the log out of Jesus. Can he now get a counter? Yeah, that King Tower activation really helps still against those minor
dragon push.
But look at this, good poison here. We're just entered triple elixir time here actually. So Senpai should be at an advantage here since he has
He's trying to get that Infernal
deck
Dragon to the tower, but that will not work.
He has
only 40 seconds left.
Bandit here charging again. Now Mega Knight here at the bridge. Can he get the connection? There's another Mega Knight. There's another poison there.
He has to be a little more aggressive now because he's behind.
Yeah. But there's another log.
A log. Now it's all about chip damage. Who does more chip damage? That person will win this match.
Will we see another poison here out of Senpai? There's another Ram Rider. He cannot really defend the rocket. Manages to take it out. Very nice.
All about chip damage. The mini P.E.K.K.A, no. The rocket.
There's gonna be the rocket on the tower.
That one goes to Jesus.
HP. That's one more rocket that
Come on, Jesus.
Can he do it? There's another miner there being taken out right away, but that's the tiebreaker. And that's gonna be the 1-for-1 here for Jesus. With the rocket, he manages to squeeze it out, get that tower really low there in the end. And with the rocket, you always have that option. He used it defensively super well, and in the end, Senpai just could not push through.
Patience really pays. Like Jesus, what he basically did was just chip damage, being patient, and defend. Defend everything that Senpai throws at him, and he was able to do that. And in the end, the rockets and the constant miner chip, that was just enough to get him the tower. And we have a 1-1. This is a very intense match here. We have two really top players here. Remember that Jesus is just in the losers bracket because he lost 4-3. That was very close. And both of them strong players. So I'm curious how this is gonna go. I'm expecting kind of a back and forth. We'll see how that goes. Like, maybe Jesus now takes the lead and then Senpai again. We'll see.
Yeah, but they definitely do not disappoint. I mean, really good. I mean, we know, and we've always known that these are two of the best players we have in the Swisscom Hero League. And it's always so much fun to see them go up against each other. And I think, if anything, that last match just showed why that is. I mean, it was so solid gameplay coming out of both of them.
I agree. Both really solid gameplay. There was really nothing that Senpai could have done differently here. Just from the decks and from how well Jesus defended. I don't see anything he could have done different here because it was just impossible for him to get to the tower. He switched lanes, it tried everything, but there was no breaking through here. Impossible. Well done, really, by Jesus.
I mean, Senpai Rect here, he had the poison, but outside of that, he didn't really have a big spell. And I felt like that in the end hurt him a bit, because he could not really build those big pushes behind his Mega Knight and then punish it. Maybe holding off on the poison for a little while longer could have netted him an advantage.
To chip damage a little bit quicker.
But then again, I mean, he didn't have the miner for the guaranteed tower damage. He had to rely solely on the poison. And
Yeah.
with the Ice Golem in the deck of Jesus, he always had a really good answer against those Mega Knight
Yes.
pushes when he just
And Rocket beats Poison. That's the
Yeah,
problem. If you're
yeah.
just going for chip damage, the Rocket's gonna win.
That's true. Even though it costs 2 more elixir, you can so. I mean, we saw it against the Ram Rider at some point, and also against the Inferno Dragon. Just those rockets onto your opponent's tower. Yeah, you might trade down like 2 elixir, but you still get more like 400. What is it, like 420 damage on your opponent's Princess Tower, and that's a big chunk that it's missing. And if you can do that over and over, you just have to essentially hold the line, which we saw
Hold
here,
the
and
line.
make it to the hold the door
Jesus, OP.
and make it
I
to
can
the
see
tiebreaker.
here the chat is taking sides kind of for Jesus at the moment. A lot of people take sides here with Jesus, which
Have
is
to-
interesting.
Have to open our stream as well, so
Because
I can have a
usually Senpai, he brings a huge fan base with him. A very popular player in Switzerland. But today, it looks like it's Jesus audience. People supporting him. We're ready
Well,
for match number 3,
I
guess.
heard Jesus has a really big followership by itself. Okay, we're ready for game here. Game
go.
3 here. Let's cut the blasphemy jokes out for the moment being, at least.
Oh, I
and
didn't
let's
get
have
the
a look.
joke. Now I get.
Sometimes it
That-
takes a while, you know. It's like
Yeah, only I just didn't think of the other Jesus when you said that, so I didn't get the joke.
yeah, yeah. You know.
Well. Until you said blasphemy, I started thinking, what did he actually say? Why does he use that strange word?
Why not?
Dark Prince here on the bridge, supported by the Firecracker. Let's crack some fire.
Nice kite there with the Ice Golem.
Firecracker is on the way to shoot nothing.
Ooh, nearly gets the King Tower activation there. That's actually gonna be a balloon deck here coming out of Senpai.
Yeah,
There's
we
another
know he's a
miner.
good air player.
Yeah. But with the E-Wizard, he actually has a really good answer here. Because he gets the death damage
get a
onto the
hit.
tower.
Just the death bomb.
A nice kite there yet again on that mini
Oh, the mini
but
P.E.K.K.A!
Will he connect?
He's
Nice
angry!
snowball there.
But doesn't get anywhere. An angry little mini P.E.K.K.A.
Oof, that's gonna be a Sparky here.
I love Sparky. I play it all the time. It's so
She's
much fun.
Beautiful. She's just
Either you lose or you destroy.
I think that she's probably gonna be the second legendary card that I'm gonna be able to max out. It's actually gonna be the classic combo here with the Goblin Giant.
classic
Nice
one.
Earthquake there. That's
Sparky.
actually a
Oh,
very
he shoots
recent
backwards. Did you
change.
see that?
Nice. Oh,
He
that's
hit the
surely gonna
Skellies
be the
behind
power.
himself. That's
Yeah.
weird. She hit
No,
the
that was
Skellies
the
behind her.
sap. That was the sap. He
Oh,
used
he
the
did,
sap
did
at the
he
same
sap?
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see the sap.
Oh wow. Jesus just goes straight for the 3 crown here,
Well
by the
spotted.
looks of it. Dark
Sparky
Prince here
going down.
charging in on that right hand side. Does not
You know
quite
how they
manage
used to
get into
say,
damage.
well spotted eagle. Another
But
balloon.
now Jesus can just adeptly defend here. Yeah,
it's
again
not
that's gonna be
getting
the
there.
zap on the skeletons as well as that balloon, and it's just gonna be the death damage yet again. Meanwhile, Senpai has a really, excuse me, Jesus of course has a really big push here on the left hand side. Will connect the mini P.E.K.K.A. onto that Musketeer here,
It's really a
taking
problem
her
here
down
for Senpai
violently.
to actually try and get
Look at
that
those
balloon to the
predictions.
tower because the Electro-Wizard
Look
takes
at
care
those
of that balloon
predictions
so
out
well.
of
It's
Jesus.
impossible. Balloon has no chance of getting there because of that Electro-Wizard and Zap that are played so well.
Senpai just PM through the snowball there in the direction of the King Tower. He knows
That's it.
this is a lost cause here.
Didn't
and
I
he
just say
cannot push
Jesus
through.
will take the lead? And he did.
Jesus
Two-
takes the wheel, ladies and
2-1.
gentlemen.
Time for Senpai to come back and make this a 2-2.
I
2-2.
I loved how Jesus played that match here.
This is like a
I mean,
mini-final.
In the end, he was just, as soon as he saw the minor animation, he just dropped his mini P.E.K.K.A. in between the bridge and the tower because he knew, okay, minor's coming. Or when he saw the balloon, he just dropped the mini P.E.K.K.A. He was like, okay, balloon's coming, minor's gonna be coming as well. So I just used my mini P.E.K.K.A, completely counter it, and then build a little push behind that mini P.E.K.K.A. And yeah, one Sparky Goblin Giant combination was enough to take the tower. And in the end, the lead here with a 2-1 here over Jesus.
That's why we love Sparky. You can't make a mistake against Sparky. You do one mistake, you do not pay attention for 1 second, and your tower's dead. And then we have to say, Jesus really played it well. That moment there where he got that tower, where he zapped the Skellies behind the Sparky, you spotted that really well. He was doing such a great push, and one great push is just enough, because you can also use Sparky well on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, not much against the balloon, but of course with
that
the
was the job of the Electro Wizard.
With the Eewees here, as well as the Firecracker at some times, he had such a good answer against it. So no real sweat there for Jesus, and he looked really solid and confident in this matchup here.
Relaxed. I would like to see his face now. That would be
He's
cool.
probably
the
just
pulse,
chilling, you know.
The pulse, as we've seen in the grand final, the pulse is always interesting.
That's very true. I actually wonder whether he's still residing in Barcelona, because
is he?
I'm not sure. He's like, he wrote he's a bartender.
Jesus or Senpai?
Jesus.
Jesus is in Barcelona, beautiful city.
Well, I'm not sure whether he still is. I hope he is fine where he is. I also liked, by the way, coming back to the deck that Jesus decided to run here. In the past, we often saw this Sparky Goblin Giant deck being run with a Lightning. He actually decided to switch it up here, bringing in the Earthquake. So it's a lot cheaper. It takes better care of swarm units, but it's of course harder to take care of these big units. But then again, those you can usually punish really well with some Sparky shots. And then the Firecracker on top of it being just a great defensive tool, as I've mentioned over and over again.
It looked so easy.
Yeah.
How he defended the balloon just with the Electro Wizard and the Zap, that looked so easy and so calm and ready. And really, Senpai trying hard to get to the tower, but he couldn't manage to get there. And yeah, as we said, it just takes one Sparky push. So I'm curious if Jesus will stick with Sparky, or if he will switch it up and try something else.
Yeah, I mean,
that will be very interesting.
If we look back to season 1 finale, where both of the players said that they really don't like to go up against Sparky, I think after this match, Senpai Rect still won't like her, even though he got one of his wins in our season 1.
You know what I'm waiting for?
Tell
the
me.
Elixir Golem.
The Elixir Golem.
The Elixir Golem Sparky.
Oh my gosh, with Sparky as well. And Mirror, you know.
But at least the Elixir Golem, that would be very cool. I want to see that again. Battle Healer. And we're ready to go into match number 4.
Yep. Let's have a look.
Ready for clashing.
So far, we've seen quite a bit of variety out of both of these players. This time it's going to be Jesus with the wall breakers here.
Siblings reunited and died.
Just like smacking their heads against each other.
Yeah, that
and
was one quick
an aggressive push here coming
breakers.
out of Jesus. Very nice arrows there being played from Senpai Rect to take care of that push here, together with the Ice Wizard. I can really see. Could it be a graveyard deck here coming out of Senpai Rect? Not 100%.
It looks like an Expo. Could it be the good old Expo deck?
Could be. I'd love that actually. I'm still a fond admirer. Oh,
it's the Electro Dragon, so it's probably something different.
Ooh! Oh my gosh! Mini P.E.K.K.A connects onto the tower there for 2 swings. That's a lot of damage there. 1100 HP remaining
there. Is it the Elixir Golem? It looks like the Elixir Golem deck actually.
It
Could
it's a
be.
strange variety of it though.
It looks like a
Usually you don't-
mixture of Expo and Elixir Golem.
Sure.
Wall breakers. This time
Usually,
together.
yeah.
Both
This
of
time
them hit.
he just lets them connect. Oh, he actually does
Healer.
run the battle healer here.
I expect the Elixir Golem now.
Yeah, so
Totally
do I.
expect it.
Of course, he can't play the baby dragon, so he just switched the baby dragon for the ice whiz here. Now it makes
But
more
he's
sense.
taking a lot of damage. Why is he
He
not
is.
defending?
He is. I think he's just waiting here for double elixir time because against the deck of Jesus, especially with those mini P.E.K.K.A.s, you really don't want to be playing the elixir golem because you're just giving Jesus so much power with that. And so I guess he's just trying to defend. Nice King Tower activation there with the miner. One of the lesser known techs, I guess, that you can actually do that when there's an... Oh, there we actually see
Yeah,
the
there he
elixir
is.
golem now.
The beautiful purple big
And now he
guy.
just builds a big push here.
But
Mega
the
Knight there
P.E.K.K.A.s
being played by Jesus.
Ah, nice tornado, pulling away the mini P.E.K.K.A, letting the Elixir blobs
Yeah,
doing their work.
Nice,
The
there's gonna be
deadly
another
deed.
elixir golem here out of that
Deadly
correct.
deeds done to that tower.
Nice
Another
defense there
one.
with the arrows on the left hand side. Take care of it all. There's a
Without the
mini
tower.
P.E.K.K.A to defend.
Blobs on the
he
tower
stall
still.
this push? Or will Senpirek manage to get in the
Going
damage
into
he needs so
overtime.
much here? Nice tornado there yet again with the bar barrel. He just eliminates that push. And there's another mini P.E.K.K.A that will
But
make
he has
his
to be
way down
very
the right
careful
hand
now
side.
for the miner and the Mega Knight push. Very
Can
careful.
he
That top
defend?
left tower is really
Jesus
weak at
actually
the moment.
decides to attack the right hand side here. Nice arrows here once
good
more out of
distraction.
Senpirek. There's
Mini
another mini
P.E.K.K.A.
P.E.K.K.A.
Oh, he has to use the Elixir
Good
Golem
kite.
to kite.
But the wall breakers, they make his
Oh,
connection.
128!
120.
That's
17,
tower!
16,
That's
the
Jesus!
miner, and
Jesus
that's gonna be
taking the
3-1.
lead! 3-1 for Jesus! Holy bananas! It's not going back and
Oh.
forth, it's going in favor of Jesus. He's taking the lead.
Yeah.
What
Super
a
solidly
revenge.
played here by him. I mean, I really thought Senpirek had it when he built such a great push there in the right hand side. But
And,
with the
and
Mega Knight,
we're starting to think here. Could it be that the 2 times champion drops out in the first phase of the tournament?
Ooh.
That would be crazy. Senpai,
Well,
2 times champion. For
I
those who
think
don't know.
I think just Senpirek inherently as a player, he's been one of our most consistent players, I think. So he's always played well, but he also dropped some matches. But then he always made his way into the finals. I mean, in season 1, I'm not sure. I think he was third, and in season 2, I think he was third as well during the regular season. So
Maybe the round
he's
robin
not
plays
he's
in
not
his
yeah
favor.
he's not always
Kind
been
of.
a flawless player, but he's always been very consistent and very
Consistent.
determined, and especially in playoffs, and then always in finals on stage. Maybe it is his experience as well
Yeah.
that comes
On
in there.
stage he's very calm because
Yeah.
he's experienced.
Yeah.
But maybe that is the difference, what you're saying here, because
Yeah.
double elimination is a different thing. It's
That's
not, you
true.
cannot make up if you played bad on one day. You will have trouble
That's
to
true.
be back.
That's true.
But
It
if you
does not-
can't, round robin is easier in that kind.
It does not really help you in opposed to a round robin system, as you mentioned. You're not really getting rewarded for playing consistently. You just have to be at 120, 150% on that day, and
And now
only
Jesus,
that day matters.
Jesus has it in his hands now.
Yeah.
If he wins again,
Match
if he
game
wins
here
again, just one
for
match,
Jesus?
he kicks out Senpai and proceeds to the next round. We're match number 5.
Yeah, and then we already see some bets coming out for both of these players. Sap there by Jesus' hands makes them disappear real fast. There's gonna be the Musketeer here out of
Again,
Senpirek.
I see the chat is definitely cheering for Jesus.
Yeah,
today.
chat looks to be pretty hyped and excited. And there's gonna be another mini P.E.K.K.A card. We've seen so much here in this duel between those two players actually.
Again, the
so far.
Firecracker. I'm actually surprised how popular the Firecracker is. We see the Firecracker literally everywhere.
Yeah. I think
So
it's
strong.
quite. Personally, I think it's quite a high skill cap card. You can use her really well, especially defensively, because she has that huge AoE. And
Sparky.
she has
It's
quite a
funny
bit
how
of damage.
Senpai now with Sparky
Yeah.
and Jesus with the balloon.
Possible revenge here, but that
Ooh.
the balloon there still has a lot
Balloon's on
of
the
HP
tower.
left, plus 3 bats on top of that. It's gonna be quite a bit of
tries
chunk,
it.
quite a chunk here on that right hand side. 1260.
Oh, that Sparky's gonna
HP
shoot the
remaining.
tower. No.
Nice zap there.
Not
Take
yet.
care of this. Nice zap as well from the
Yeah.
side of Samparect here.
Only the Muskie
nice
is on the tower.
defense here. Yeah. but
And
so
again,
far,
Jesus takes the lead with that balloon. Senpai cannot allow that balloon to hit the tower. That's gonna destroy it.
yeah, damage lead here still in favor of Jesus. But with a Sparky, that can of course change really fast. There we see another Sparky being played here. That's probably gonna
never
be
know what
another
you're
round
gonna
of
get.
Ice Golem and Balloon here on the right hand side. He actually just gives up the tower here by the looks of it.
Yeah, the tower's gone. Now he has to be successful with that Sparky. That's the pressure on him now. Senpai.
But look at
trying.
this. Jesus just
But
goes
look at the King
for the
Tower.
crown here.
Look at the King Tower. No, Senpai.
But on the other hand, look at that. That's a Dark Prince and a
Sparky
Mini
also
P.E.K.K.A.
on the King Tower.
Oh my gosh, he gets a shot in.
And the Dark
is still
Prince.
on the
Dark
tower.
Knight.
Fire. Look at this. It's so. There,
632 against
50 damage
682.
difference here on the King Tower of all things. There's the firecracker, the
mini
earthquake
P.E.K.K.A.
there.
Very dangerous mini
Oh,
P.E.K.K.A.
look at the
41!
look at
41 and the
She
tower
gets it.
goes down!
The last
Senpai!
spear, the spear of doom there secures the
Senpai
possible
is
comeback.
back! He closes the gap. It's 3-2.
Oh, what a game!
What a close ending.
Senpai just
Crazy.
was like, no, screw this balloon. That's a bad matchup. I don't have a real answer against it. So just throw everything, the kitchen sink, your grandmother, your car, throw everything down that left-hand side.
Sometimes you just gotta
go
throw
for
all
it.
in and throw everything at the tower. Send everyone.
Just close
And
your
then
eyes and pray.
Send
Now-
everyone and look if that tower goes down. Just send everyone.
That time it
Crazy.
was Senpai who was like, Jesus, take the wheel, but he took it
It was
himself.
really all or nothing here for Senpai. You could have seen it. Kind of desperate. He just either I get the 3 crown or I lose.
Yep.
And sometimes you have
That's
to
a
make those tough
That's a
decisions.
ballsy move to do in a game that can cost you your your participation here in this.
Yeah, but the
in this
thing is,
league.
if he plays this more careful, he probably would have lost.
Yeah.
So it really paid to take the risk.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible here. And then I wasn't sure whether he's running the Goblin Giant actually, but then he came out and like good defense out of Jesus, and then with the mini P.E.K.K.A. it was just so intense. And then actually he managed to take
I call
down the
this
defense. Had a
crazy.
very clutch earthquake as well on the firecracker there.
That's the
to
most
just slow her down.
incredible
That was-
match
oh,
we've seen so far. I just see the replay here in the stream.
Yep.
That Sparky approaching.
Yeah.
Approaching the Dark Prince, of course, was very useful there, protecting the Sparky. And actually, it's funny how he played Mini P.E.K.K.A, Sparky, and Dark Prince as a push. No Giant in that deck at this moment here. So that's very interesting.
Yep. So
And-
we have another match ready. Game
Let's go.
number 6 is on the way here, and let's see if Senpai can tie up the score here, or whether Jesus can take it home with this last one. He's running the miner yet again. There's gonna be the Goblin horde from Senpai for a nice defense, but he loses quite a bit of HP here already. 600 HP lost on that right hand side. Jesus making great use of his sap there. And again, we see the wall breakers here being played. Those. Yeah, Nice kite there on the mini P.E.K.K.A. Both of these players now just running super aggro decks, like fast cycle swarm units here. Another nice sap there, taking care of that goblin horde. Goblin gang, excuse me. Why am I calling it a horde? It's a gang, of course. And he gets a really solid chunk of damage on that right hand side, but now has to defend against the Mega Knight here. But he has the Ice Golem yet again. Manages to defend super well against that. Firecracker there helping out as well. Bats now being played on top. Will there be a miner? Yes, there's a miner to support the whole thing. Nice Ewis there to take care of.
Again, same story. Like,
but
Jesus is just strong, and Senpai
Firecracker just chipping away. Just chipping away at that right hand side there.
Senpai almost no damage done to Jesus here at the moment. Crazy. But he took a lot of damage.
Yes, on 0 damage actually so far.
It's crazy.
Absolutely 0 damage.
Did he even play?
And he now has an activated King Tower just for good measure here. So it's gonna be a tough one here for Senpai to squeeze out a win in this, and he really needs
Mega Knight,
just
the miner.
Otherwise
Mega Knight played behind the King Tower, and Jesus really aggressive. I love how he plays this match. Like going like a challenger. He plays it in challenger mode. Really want to go for the win here.
Will the death damage? Yeah, he gets death damage here on the right hand side. Wall breakers trying to make their way through.
Getting there.
Does not quite manage to get it. Ooh, that miner is on the King Tower of all things.
Thing really here is Jesus defends so well. There is really no breakthrough here for Senpai. It's impossible for him to get to the tower.
And look at that Firecracker just defending. He has only lost 50 HP so far. There's gonna be the Ewis to defend.
246.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus has the win in his hands here. There's
another balloon. Ewis is out of cycle right now. He uses the zap.
He can't stop him.
No, he'll get it.
He can't stop the balloon.
That's gonna be
that's a win
here for Jesus, and he's taking it 4-2 here against Senpai. Gets his revenge for the Season 1 finals here, and takes him down with what was such a solid performance.
I don't know. Actually, I do know what to say. It's incredible. Senpai wrecked. 2 times champion of Swisscom Hero League loses this match and is out of the competition. Incredible performance here by Jesus. Unbelievable.
The higher you fly, the harder you fall.
Yeah, and he said it. In the final, he said it. It's gonna be harder in Season 3 because he's the one really in the spotlight now. Yeah. Everybody expected him to win again after 2 wins. So there was a lot of pressure on Senpai. And this time, he could not stand up to all the pressure. Maybe next time again. But for this time, we have to say goodbye to Senpai, which is really sad. We will miss him.
Saddens me too.
Sad, but true. My daughters, don't tell my daughters. You know they are big fans of Senpai. We can never let them know. We can never let them know.
No, we won't. Yeah. We'll tell them. We'll tell them once they're old.
Well deserved by Jesus. Cheers, Jesus! Congrats.
Yeah. So really well played here by Jesus. Of course, also a bit unlucky here for Senpai, of course. After some quite intense matches that we've seen out of him, but of course, I can only say like super well played. He's still one of our most talented players, Clash Royale players we have here in Switzerland, and I'm sure he's gonna be back for Season 4 again, and then he's hungry for another victory.
I can only imagine how Jesus, he must be celebrating. He's probably rolling on the floor at home, celebrating his win against Senpai here. And finally, he was able to beat him. Again, this round here of Clash Royale with my friend Luca Don Rigoni on this side here.
Okay. And with that, we're actually gonna head into the break. Thanks also for Chief Avalon, of course,
Oh,
who
I'm
can be
back.
found on Twitter, Instagram, not to forget TikTok, and he does some
YouTube,
amazing YouTube
Twitch.
content. So go check him out. And with that,
Everywhere.
we're gonna head into the break, only to be back shortly after with the
And-
second match of today, where Dotsim is gonna be facing off against FCN Rise.
And don't you dare leaving. Just get drinks and then be back right here for the next match. I'm counting on you.
And wash your hands.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Wir arbeiten schon viel. Und das darf auch sein. Es gehört halt auch dazu. Aber die Technik schafft heute auch viel. Immer mehr sogar. Die Luftfeuchtigkeit passt. Die Stauatmosphäre stimmt. Und wenn die Technik immer mehr schafft, könnten wir ja zwischendurch ein Kehr weniger krampfen. Oder etwa nicht.
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
been working part-time jobs, chasing all my dreams now lately. No matter if I try too hard, nothing's ever enough, baby. No, I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side, I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different.
Guess who's back? Guess who's
Back
back?
again.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? We had a little technical problem, but
Yes.
once again, a huge, a big thank you to our operations team. Really did a great job here fixing the problem. They have a lot of stress if something like that happens during the live broadcast. So I feel with you guys. I experienced this many times before in my own live stream. So I can really feel with you. And that's why I have to tell you guys, don't worry, don't stress. You do a great job. And we're just happy we're back for match
Yes,
number
we
2.
are. And we're in for another round of hopefully some quite intense games here coming in to that second match here, who is going to be the duel between FCN Ryzen versus That's Him. Both of these also our contestants here coming out into the second round of the losers bracket here. And again, for one of these two players, it's going to be good night this evening, and he is going to be out of the competition for season 3 at least here of the Swisscom Hero League powered by ESL. And we're already preparing the matchup between these two players. As I mentioned, That's Him last week. He's already came up strong after going down in the first week and dropping down to the losers bracket. He really has stepped up his game last week, taking down Kefron with a super solid 4-0, basically running
That was
graveyard throughout, one of his favorite decks.
We
Okay.
have the bands, Magical Archer and the Battle
Battle
Healer.
Healer.
That's the bands. Battle Healer is not such a card that is very often played, so it's a bit surprising to actually ban the healer. The Magical Archer, we know him, we don't like him, we ban him.
You don't like him, please.
I don't like him, I would
have
ban
an
him.
eternal love for that beautiful man with his
Eternal
nice
love.
arrow.
Okay,
Yes.
exaggerating just a little bit.
No, I'm only telling the truth.
Eternal love. I'm just
Yes.
thinking of that love song.
He's basically Legolas, so
Legolas.
don't hate on him. And we're actually already ready to dive into this first match here of this second matchup of tonight. Both of these players running the Musketeer here. Card we don't really see super much these days. And there is the Barbot, a card that has been coming up more and more ever since it got that nice buff last patch. And yeah, we actually see it quite a
Minor
bit more.
Balloon, FCN Rising. He
Has the
tries the
arms
ways
again.
of Senpai. That didn't work. So,
Looks like it. And the
but
snowball
for
there,
FCN
not
looks a little
connected,
bit better.
not
No,
connecting
not
on the
really.
Dart Goblin. And
Not
he's
really
firing
better.
away. I feel like Dart Goblin is one of the most frustrating cards to go up against him because he's only 3 elixir, and if you don't respond to him, it just deals a million damage basically.
I actually feel like the Barbarian Hut is one of the most disappointing cards to play because it's usually strong when you play it at the start of the match, but then later on it is so expensive that it's kind of hard to play it again. So it's kind of frustrating.
But it also got me quite
Graveyard.
resilient to.
And then the Bomb
counters.
Tower, of course, is a
Nice
counter, a
defense there.
perfect counter
Good
against the
defense
Barbot.
from FCN Rise there. Look at all the damage he gets onto that
Holy
Princess
bananas.
Tower. 1388 HP remaining. That's him yet again showing why he is our graveyard master here in this
Master of the Graveyard.
Master of
Welcome
disaster.
to the castle.
He gets a
welcome to the
bit of a
graveyard.
connection there, FCN Ryzen, that is
Okay.
with that Ice Golem and another
Here's the
Dart
Dart Goblin.
Look at him,
And
just
that
firing
little guy,
away.
he connects to the tower and then he does
Yeah.
so much damage. It's so
And
crazy.
that was with the slow of the snowball there. Nice pull there onto the balloon with the bar pot. Catches the miner there as well with that mini P.E.K.K.A. and look at this, just holds him there in place for such a long time, and with that buff to the bar pot, there's still another 2 barbarians that are spawning, and now he's just basically swarming down FCN Ryzen. Can he respond here? Does not have the bomb tower in
balloon.
cycle. It
Place
looks
it
like.
in a weird spot actually, in the
Yeah.
middle between bridge and tower.
gets the pull there onto the balloon yet again. There's two
Two
muskies
muskies.
now firing away and helping the balloon out, but he goes down quite fast with the
But
help
at least
of
he
that
takes out the
musketeer.
bar
There's
part
another
and
graveyard there on
that's
the
good
left-hand
value.
side. Another balloon though on
Graveyard.
the right side by FC
FCN is
Rising.
not ready to defend
Good
and that
Evo
tower
is there,
going
and look at that,
down.
he goes down, time left, and that's already gonna be the 1-0 here, perfectly on the clock. He manages to get that
Perfect.
crown on the left-hand
That's
side.
all it was about. Perfect
Yeah.
timing.
Yeah,
Perfect timing.
just getting a good chunk of damage in there, and then just playing the long game, playing for some nice defense there, controlling the match, and then just punishing him again on that left-hand side, and just taking him down there. Very, very solid gameplay here coming out from That's Him yet again.
Yeah, and I just want to thank everyone who made it back to the stream after the break. I told you guys, don't you dare to leave. And I see everyone that is back now. It's amazing. Everyone that's not back, I see you too.
We also have some nice love
We will
here.
remember. No, of course we won't. But thanks everyone for being back, especially after we had those technical problems. A
Yep.
strong start here, definitely for Datsim. Datsim is probably not the guy you would expect to win this match because he's been a little bit unlucky in the previous seasons. And FC Rising, he was always a favorite. Like you would expect him to actually be in the top positions at the end of the season. So
Yeah.
it's a unexpected start here with this match, FC Rising against Datsim.
And I mean,
And
he
yeah,
made
while
it
you're
to the
drinking,
finals.
I'm also gonna take a sip here from my beautiful cup, and you know my beautiful cup here. That's
I just have a bottle here.
that's what it's
Not
about.
sponsored, but a great Swiss company here who plants trees for every product that you purchase. And actually, it was a quite an amazing matchup here between those two players to see. I mean, FC Rising, he did his best, but again, this is what I love seeing out of Datsim, which he can do well.
He can
but
do
it
it.
always looks like at the beginning, and sometimes in certain matches, he just forgets. It's
Yeah.
like he
And
he
don't
forgets
forget always.
he's- Yeah.
And don't forget, whenever he lost, it was very close. Often he had the lead, and then at the end he couldn't make it. We're in the next match.
Yeah, we're already into match number 2 here. A barbarian there being thrown down by Datsim to start things off. And there we see the baby dragon, who this time can be played, and now yet again FC Rising decides to go with an ice golem. Tesla there, also a very solid defensive option. It looks like 2.9 here. If I have to bet it, I'd say that's certainly gonna be 2.9 here from FC Rising. Actually has a pretty decent matchup against Graveyard that he can defend super efficiently with the likes of those archers. But look at that, a lot of damage are going down again on that right hand side, and there's gonna be the Expo here to answer. A push he takes that. There's the grave, excuse me, there's the tombstone, of course, but with the barbarian he actually has a decent answer to that Expo, but nevertheless he gets around 700 damage, 800 damage on that right hand tower already, and that exactly is the strength of that Expo. You have to throw so much at it to defend against it, and then it still connects for what feels like a second, and it gets so much damage in.
Graveyard is not an easy matchup against Expo, that's for sure, because you don't have a big tank. It's always easier if you have a big tank to actually distract that Expo, but that's not the case. However, that
Look at
Graveyard
this
is
though. Wow.
incredible!
Holy moly, those skeletons just
Getting that
whacked
tower!
away there. No chance for
And that's a
FC
problem, because with Expo, when you're behind, it's really hard.
It is super tough
There's
here
the
to do
Expo.
anything. Just commits onto the other side there, and with the tombstone he has such a good answer to that Expo. There he gets the connection there, but with the barb there he gets a good control of that Expo yet again. There's gonna be the Dark Prince there being absorbed by the Ice Golem now. FC Rising really has to try and make the most
Another
out of the
Expo.
time remaining there. There's gonna be a nice, ooh, misses the Ice Wizard there with
The Expo is
fireball.
connected though.
But he
it's
gets a
not
good
gonna
bit of
make enough.
damage.
A good damage, but it's not enough.
He only
it's
has
only
20 seconds remaining. There's another
20
Tesla there
seconds.
being deployed at the bridge. Ice Golem also being played there. He needs another Expo there. I
Well,
don't think he can get it all in.
It
with
looks like
Fireball.
Datsim here is gonna strengthen his lead and make this actually a
It certainly
2-0.
does. Nice absorption there from the
A
damage with Dark
2-0
Prince.
for Datsim. I would not have,
Whew.
honestly, I would not have expected this. That's really a big surprise. Big
Yeah.
thumbs up here to Datsim.
It was
Gotta
kind of
show
hard
thumbs
to,
up.
to put my finger on what went wrong there for FC and Rise, because usually you're not looking too bad against Expo with
Yeah.
that deck. You can defend against it. I think he got a little bit antsy with his logs and threw it out preemptively,
Maybe
where
a
he
bit
probably
too
should have
fancy.
waited a bit more for more skeletons to spawn and then take them out rather than right away. But of course Datsim had some really good answer. Bar Barrel is usually just a good answer to the Expo by itself, but then with
problem
the,
is
with the
when
poison
you're-
on top of it, it's just such
When
a
you're
good
behind with
response.
Expo, it's so hard to come back because the opponent can just really start
Oh,
to
yeah.
defend hard. You can't
Now I'm
get
just
there.
now I'm just rewatching it. Like with the first graveyard push, FC and Ryzen actually used the log to stop the charging Dark Prince, as well as get some damage in onto the Ice Wizard, and then of course he was missing it for the
Yeah, and
potential counter.
he also had no good defense here against the graveyard.
Yeah.
I mean, basically he just had archers, the log, and the little skellies, and that's
Yeah, but
it.
with Archers,
So-
Log, and Skellies, you defend super well. That's 6 elixir for the 5 elixir graveyard, and you usually can defend against it pretty solidly. And
That was a huge
something
push.
else you can do against which FCN Ryzen didn't, which makes me think that he does not play too much Expo probably, was that you just play defensive Expos. You just drop an Expo next to your tower to disincentivize
There's the
your
second
opponent.
push. I just
Yeah.
rewatched it, and that's where he tried to defend the graveyard with Tesla. That
Yeah.
doesn't work. It's too
Yeah.
slow.
Yeah, but you can use the Expo. You can deploy your Expo
The
next
Expo would work.
next
yeah.
to the Princess Tower, and then just use that as a defense, and then on the opposite side attack with an aggressive Expo, that is, and that way you can just also force out those poisons over and over, because it does not manage to eliminate the entire Expo by itself. But nevertheless, 2-0 here, going over to Datsim.
And there was really not much he did wrong, like FC Ryzen. You can see it again in that replay that we can't show, unfortunately. But he placed the Tesla Expo in the perfect spot. But still, only once was he really able to do a lot of damage.
Well, 2.9 in my opinion. It is, and in so many other pro players' like opinions, it is one of the really hard decks to play super well, and I think that showed a bit here, because it's not a deck you can just pick up and start to get in wins. I personally think you can win almost every matchup, but you really
Okay.
have to know how to approach.
We're
them.
ready to go.
Yep.
Let's get ready for clashing. Match number 3. Datsim on the bottom, fighting against FC Ryzen. Trying to make a 3-point lead out of 2. Dark
Right,
Prince
and-
starting off the show here.
Yeah, FC Ryzen with Ice here coming out of him, plus the Musketeer here. It looks like Datsim is just
Nice
playing
fireball.
the same deck again, just by the initial looks of it.
FC Ryzen with a little bit of a stronger start here
Yeah.
this time.
But Datsim this time with the minions here.
Hog
And the
Rider.
Hog Rider.
Hog Rider!
Ooh, but there is the mini
He gets a
P.E.K.K.A..
hit.
That's
Mini
always,
P.E.K.K.A.
I love
usually
that.
counters it, and it gets one hit, usually. If you play
I
it
just,
well.
ooh, and there's the Sparky. Alrighty, he's back to his other favorite card outside of the graveyard, and that is the Sparky, of course.
And
let's
that's a
see-
good matchup, actually. Sparky against Hog Rider, Mini P.E.K.K.A. against Hog
Yeah.
Rider. That combo
Yeah.
is really strong against Hog Rider. I played it myself many times.
Personally, I just love everything that counters Hog Rider. Yeah. You know me.
Yeah, I don't like Hog Rider either. So.
Oh, nice zap there.
Sparky's actually gonna shoot. It's gonna shoot the tower.
Gets the shot off there. Very, very nicely done here by that Sam. There's another mini P.E.K.K.A, of course.
He's ready.
Just 2 slaps there with that little sword, but it does hurt so much. And he gets the kill onto that Hog Rider. It looks there. It's actually a 2.6 Hog here out of FCN Ryzen, one of the iconic.
Did you just calculate that, or did you guess it?
I calculated, of course.
Or do you just know it?
I know it. Like that is 2.6.
Okay.
With the cannon.
Nice fireball on the Sparky this time. Sparky's at 50% and locked.
But of course, with
Sparky a little
2.6,
bit.
you don't have the means to really cancel or intercept.
Ooh, the earthquake destroyed the cannon.
Oh wow!
Oh, the fireball misses!
Oh my gosh!
And Sparky's ready to shoot!
And there's the shot!
And
woo! Manages
that was
to
so
block
close.
But that was painful. Oh my!
That was so close. Dang here, a nail biter.
But I think that's just gonna be one more earthquake, plus probably a zap on that right hand side. But he decides to still keep pushing the right hand side.
Probably smart.
Yeah. I mean, FCN Ryzen at this point, I think he knows that he probably cannot defend the right hand side here. But what will he do? Look at that, just the earthquake getting so much
59
value.
And that tower's down and Datsim takes a 3-0 lead. Isn't that crazy?
What a guy.
Unbelievable.
What a guy.
What a match.
Goes down 4-0 in week 1 and then decides, nope, I'm not out of this. I still want to keep going. Takes down Kefron with a 4-0. Goes up 3-0 here in his deciding losers bracket match. And
we currently see kind of a dying of the favorites here. Like Senpai dropped out and now FCN Ryzen is close to dropping out of the competition.
Just imagine, I mean, FCN Ryzen, he scored 2nd place in the season 2. Season 2.
Wow.
With an incredible performance out of him.
Incredible. Think of this, like number 1 and number 2 of the previous season would be out if FCN Ryzen loses. But it's not over yet. It may happen that Datsim chokes again. He did before. And we've seen him actually lose when he was in the lead like this before. I think in season 2 he was once like 3-0 in the lead and lost 4-3. So
yeah. I agree, so it's definitely gonna be hard for him to come back here. But yeah, that's him. He has it in his hand, and how he's been playing, not just this week but also last week. I can really see him take this, and just was an incredible performance out of him. Yeah, he had a really good matchup against him here, and yeah, FCN Ryzen, I think he also was struggling a bit with the nerfs towards the end there. Missing that fireball on the low health. On the low health, Sparky was really punishing him there. Kind of the last nail in the coffin where he missed that.
And also, somehow today, we have the most intense matches we have seen in this season. So far, I feel like the previous match was definitely the strongest match we've seen in this season before, with so many really good, close endings. Now this one here, very interesting. Different decks, different archetypes played, and a big surprise at the moment. I mean, just look at those numbers here. 3 for Datsim and 0 for FCN Ryzen. I mean, nobody would have thought. If I asked you at the start, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, I really think Datsim deserves this as well. He, as we mentioned times and times again, he's been kind of one of our unlucky players in the past, and has struggled with his mindset, I think, a little bit.
That's it.
So it's so I really appreciate him stepping up his game, putting his mind to it.
I hope he's not joking now when he's on 3-0.
And
I mean, FCN Ryzen will fight like this in the next match. There's no doubt about that. He's ready, and
as long as he doesn't miss his fireballs against that are so crucial.
That
But
was painful.
let's have a look at it and jump into game number 3, the possible decider here of our second match of the night. We should be ready any second here to jump into that.
Decisive match.
Yeah.
Another 4-0. We had so many 4-0s in this season. Will this be another one?
Yeah,
Another one!
the big question, of course, is will we see Graveyard again or Sparky again out of that?
I hope for Sparky. I love Sparky.
He has just embraced that. Okay, that apparently works for me. So why change it? Let's do this. And
I love Sparky.
just a solid play here out of him, and I hope that he can keep up with his performance here. Maybe he decides to just switch it up completely and go with something totally different. Maybe something like a Royal Hawks deck or Mega Knight
Lava
deck,
Hound
or
Balloon.
yeah, or even
I mean, he's got 4 match points.
he can really take his time.
Actually,
Shouldn't-
5.
But
no.
I really hope for him, and
4.
I think the healthiest way for him is just like to
I mean,
close
losing
it out.
this,
Try and close
losing
it out
this
for
would
good.
be so painful.
Yes. Yeah.
With 4 match points.
Absolutely. And there we see the Ice Wizard already deployed here.
That's him
from
on
FC
fire,
Live.
says the chat.
And there's
it's true.
another bar pod. So I think that's him went back to game number 1 where he
don't like
went
the bar
with the
pod.
Graveyard. It's actually, I think it's a good addition to Graveyard because it provides some defensive value
And
as
also
well as
tanks for the
support. Yeah,
Graveyard.
exactly. It's so much HP to have for your Graveyard. And I think therefore it's just a great addition. Nice catch there onto the miner with those skeletons. Tesla here getting an incredible amount of value. I presume that FC Ryzen is going to be running Expo here
Yeah,
again.
it looks like.
But
Yeah,
this
there
time,
it is.
yes, there it is. But this time it's going to be the
Rider.
Ice Bow actually.
Ice Bow.
Instead of
Ram
instead
Rider
of
going for
2.9.
the X Ice Bowl.
Yeah. This variation of Expo, of course, being a lot easier to play, getting his name, like getting its name from the addition of that Ice Wizard that just makes defense very effective by slowing
I'm actually a
the
bit
troops down.
surprised that he plays Expo, because Expo is not such a strong deck, especially not on tourney level. It is on ladder.
Agree
on
to
tourney.
disagree there.
I don't know.
When you play it well, it can be really strong.
Yeah, but
Something I'd
it
like to
depends
point
so
out.
much. It
Something I'd
depends
like.
so much on what the opponent plays. That makes it really
That
like
is very true. That is very true. But something I'd like to point out here is that FC Ryzen actually decides to play it with the Valkyrie. One thing we have seen ever since, well, even before, but especially since he got buffed, is the addition of the Knight instead of the Valkyrie. But I think FC Ryzen predicted
another Expo this
the
time.
Graveyard here, and there, of
tries.
course, the Valkyrie is a lot stronger.
The problem is though the bar pot will distract that Expo long enough to actually take it out.
Will it though? And there's another poison here out of that thing to take care of Tesla as well as the Expo there. Very efficiently done. And there we see one of the strengths of the bar pot. Even if you manage to take care of it and essentially counter it, you still get 2 barbs out of it.
He's fast
Because
with the
when it
Expo,
dies,
but the bar pot really counters it.
yeah, because when it dies, you still get 2 more barbarians, and it's not just
And we're already in
going to
overtime.
waste.
I
And
feel like that's him. He should just play this like going for the tiebreaker. Just defend, do damage with the poison.
Yes, but the thing is,
and go for the
Icebo runs rocket, and
He hasn't played it yet.
yeah, but he didn't have to really.
Oh, Expo
There he
Connect.
gets the connection. See,
Expo Connect. That should not happen.
just out of that one connection, you could already start thinking about and there we see the first rocket
A rocket.
coming down there. And now it's really up
Only
to
2
Datsun
more
to get this
rockets.
back. And look at this, defensive Expo now being played here. the poison as an answer from Datsun, but he can just take care of it. Will we
It
see
looks
another
like
Tesla?
Datsun
Yeah, there's the
chokes
Tesla.
one more time.
Well, it's a really hard matchup to be fair. Like,
It is.
can't do too much there. It's also not the graveyard. He decided to go with the Ram Rider here. There's another rocket there, of course, on top of
Yeah,
that
Graveyard would have been the
tower.
better choice. He would have won probably if he played Graveyard again.
Not sure
So,
actually. Not
Ram
sure.
Rider is kind of hard against the Expo.
Yeah. And there is gonna be the last rocket here to seal the deal for FCN Ryzen, and he takes his first step to a potential comeback here.
He closes the
bringing
gap
it back
a
to a
little
1,
bit.
2, 3.
But it's not over yet.
No,
3
it
more
definitely
match
is not.
points. 3
It's
more
not
match
all
points.
she wrote. Can
Yes.
he take it back? Can he get another match in here? Icebo is what did the job here in the end. A very strong archetype, and one of also my personal favorite decks to play. It's just super consistent, and if you know your matchups, you can really get a lot of value out of it. And all it takes usually, compared to the 2.9 version, is just 1, maybe 2 connections or a good counter push in these scenarios, because if you get to double or even triple elixir time, you can just start cycling your rockets onto that opponent's tower and get so much value.
I think
out
that's
that
him.
way.
He should switch back to Graveyard or
I agree.
Sparky, because that
Probably
worked really
Sparky.
well for him.
Probably
One of
Sparky
those
against-
3 matches
against
that were successful. Do one
Well,
of those
the
decks
thing is,
again.
I think what also, just to give a potential insight into what could have been or maybe should have been the mindset here of FCN Ryzen. He saw that's him play Graveyard and Sparky. He knows those are his 2 favorite archetypes. So with Expo, you usually have a good matchup against the Graveyard.
Especially
it
with the
changes a
Ice
bit.
Wizard.
Let's actually have a look at the game here, while I try
Next
to
match.
keep elaborating on this point.
Next
Um,
match is on the way.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
You have a decent matchup against the Graveyard. You should have.
Mini
It looked
Pekka.
like FCN Ryzen doesn't have too much experience on the 2.9 version. In the freeze or in the Icebo version, you have the advantage that you have the rocket and you have a lot more defense, especially against the swarm troops. So you have the Valkyrie, the Ice Wizard.
There it
pretty
is.
good against it. So
There she
yeah.
is, Sparky girl.
And yeah,
And she
with the
fires.
rocket on top of that, you'd also have the answer to the Sparky, of course.
That
its
girl is
inherent
on
counter,
fire.
but he does not get the connection with it. So
And
no
is
harm
FCN
being
Ryzen playing Expo again? It kind of looks like.
nah, it looks like spell cycle to me.
Maybe.
Maybe we'll see a Goblin Barrel out of him.
Maybe Goblin Barrel, but maybe...
Yes.
Yeah, that's the barrel. Okay.
I got the script
Oh,
here.
wrong prediction. Or is it right?
Well,
Maybe it is right to
He
go
gets
for
some good
the knight.
damage there. Look at this. That's a lot, a big chunk. 1,200 damage here. And on that left side, there's gonna be the Earthquake against that Tesla. That also a change we should highlight, because with last patch they actually changed it so that Earthquake does damage a Tesla that is currently underground. Before that wasn't the case, and a lot of players criticized Supercell for it because it doesn't really make sense, because there's something hiding underground and there's an
Sparky.
earthquake. So it should get damaged by it. There's another spark here. Out
This
of
time
nothing.
again with the Sparky Dark Prince. That's the new way how to push Sparky.
Yeah.
Dark Prince.
And there's another ice spirit
Oh,
there.
Sparky's
Doesn't get
still on
connected.
fire.
Takes out the entire
was-
goblin gang.
That
Nice
was kind of lucky.
Tesla
The
there.
Ice Spirit jumping the Prince and not the Sparky.
Yeah, yeah. I think FCN Ryzen thought that the Dark Prince would go down faster. There's another goblin gang there. Zap plus
The Goblin Giants on
plus
the
the
tower.
earthquake on top of it.
And
Ooh,
he's got a
defensive
package of
goblin-
goblins with him.
Defensive goblin barrel there, but
Mini Pekka
well
doesn't
played.
get there.
Nevertheless, tower down to 500
Another Sparky.
and odd HP there. And FCN Rising now trying to play the other side of the arena. The Princess firing away at that Sparky. Will he manage to take it out? There is
Takes
the
a
log
lot of
actually.
damage there.
But look at this.
30%.
There's the earthquake. Nice value
Giant
out of
Goblin,
that Tesla.
127.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
only
there's another
71
zap on it.
to
That's
go.
just one more earthquake, and that should be
Princess.
the advancement here for Datsim into
Sparky's
the playoffs.
gonna
He cannot
get a
defend. Sparky
shot.
shoots,
That's
and
the hour
gonna
for
be the game.
Datsim.
And the match here going over
Whoa.
to Datsim.
Sparky beats FC Ryzen and
4-1.
he's out of the competition. That's him. Wow, what a sensational night we have here. What crazy matches we've seen here today. That's
Who
him
would have
beating FC Ryzen. Senpai, the number 1 and number 2 of last season have been beaten today. This will go down in history. What an amazing evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Incredible gameplay here coming out of especially Datsim. I feel FCN Ryzen, he didn't really deliver as strongly as we've seen him before. Maybe just a bit of an off day here out of him, but it was unfortunately for him not enough here to go up against Datsim, who managed to take this with a very, very convincing 4-1 here. He went down to that Ice Bow matchup where he just really couldn't do
Here's the
too
match
much,
result.
where he
4-1.
tried to experiment instead of going with what worked for him.
Now I'm really curious how those two are gonna do.
Why fix
next round.
what's not broken, and decide
And he was doing
to go
so
with
well
the
with
Sparky
Sparky.
again. Yeah,
I'm really curious how Datsim now is gonna go on in this season.
yeah.
I mean, the sky's the limit. Could he be
Absolutely.
the next champion? We don't know.
And we'll have to see. I mean, his next matchup in the playoffs, his opposition, will, amongst others, of course, also be Jumanji again, where against whom he went down with a 4-0, and where he
He's
looked
ready
pretty,
for
pretty
revenge.
bad. But I think at that point he wasn't as let's say confident in his own abilities, and tried to be fancy, try out new things, and in the end it didn't work. So
Okay. Let's
now
have a
that
look
he's
at the
resorted
brackets.
back to his favorites, he managed to do a lot better. And yeah, let's have a look.
There
on
we are.
how that
On the
went.
bracket. Thanks so much for showing the bracket. You see now here, Jesus is gonna go against Thiago. He lost against Thiago. That was a very close match, a 4-3. Thiago against Jesus in the first round of Group A.
Yep.
And now Jesus is gonna go in the playoff against Thiago again.
Yeah.
And I guess he's super hungry for that match.
Yeah, I can imagine so. And yeah, we've seen both of the groups competing here tonight. So let's also have a look at Group B here and how that bracket has evolved so far. And we see today, for the first time, we had a match that nearly ended in a 4-0, but FCN Ryzen put a stop to
first
that,
time.
taking one game there at the very least, but nevertheless going down 4-1 against Datsim, who manages with that win to get into playoffs.
And here Datsim, of course, is gonna try to take revenge against Jumanji. Jumanji with a really excellent performance so far. And yeah, that's gonna be challenging. I'm really looking forward to this one. It's gonna be very exciting.
Yeah, so our contestants for playoffs here, starting on this upcoming Wednesday, again at 8 PM, of course, are going to be Thiago, Jumanji, Datsim, and Jesus. So it's gonna be
this
some intense
Wednesday.
matches. Yeah.
Don't miss it.
So make sure you tune in again. It's
We
always at 8
expect you
o'clock.
to be here. There's no doubt about that. If you
Yeah.
have plans for Wednesday, you can't go out anyways. You have to be home anyways. So you know where to be on Wednesday at this time. You know it.
Yeah.
You know it. You gotta be here. Nowhere else. We expect you to be here. We'll check.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think we got to see another round of very exciting matches today. We saw a reboot of our season 1 finale here, essentially, which
Crazy.
was very intense. I really loved that fifth game where they just both beelined for the King Tower straight away, which
That
in
was
the
cool.
end, Zenperect managed to clutch it out. Um, but overall, some great games here who makes me optimistic and excited for our
That
future
was an
matches
exciting
here.
evening.
Yeah,
Let me,
as we head into playoffs.
let me point out once again here to my lovely co-caster here on this side, Luca Don Rigoni. You find him on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. That's where you find him.
And Twitch, if you
Leave him a
want to
message.
check me out, I might
He's on Twitch. But-
start picking up some streaming.
really?
Probably not
What
Clash
games will
Royale.
people see on your channel?
Probably some League, some fun indie games. I unfortunately don't have a capture card, otherwise I'd probably start streaming from my Switch for a bit. But yeah, I try to fire that up anytime this or next week even, to make some use of all that time at home here and to hopefully also provide some more entertainment to our Swisscom Hero League fans out there. So if you want to swing by and check that out,
Check
feel
him
free
out.
to. And of
Don't
course
miss it.
also check out our lovely Chief Avalon here on my left hand side. He's of course active basically everywhere with Twitter, Facebook,
Everywhere.
Instagram, TikTok. He's our TikTok
Don't forget
master,
about
and of course
TikTok.
YouTube and Twitch. And with that, we're already at the end here of what's essentially been the regular part of our double elimination bracket. And on Wednesday, we're gonna start off with the playoffs. I hope you guys all gonna be on board. Words. And
You
with
don't
that,
want to miss it.
we wish you a very pleasant evening. Stay happy, stay healthy, and
Yes.
see you on Wednesday.
We expect you to be back. Bye bye.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Wir arbeiten schon viel. Und das darf auch sein. Es gehört halt auch dazu. Aber die Technik schafft heute auch viel. Immer mehr sogar. Die Luftfeuchtigkeit passt. Die Stauatmosphäre stimmt. Und wenn die Technik immer mehr schafft, könnten wir ja zwischendurch ein Kehr weniger krampfen. Oder etwa nicht.
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
I don't need recognition. I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues. I'm in position. I'm staying up. It's getting late. You're doing good. I'm doing great.
body to the sound of the tuba. Move your body to the sound of the tuba.